Welcome back to the channel, man. As always, I am stoked to see you. You know, it's not too often that I'm going to do a review of a piece of kit or gear until I have absolutely run it through the ringer, but this is an exception, and I'm going to tell you why, because it's the most important thing about this particular chest harness or chest rig. After we look at through some of the specs and some of the details about this thing. So first off, a little disclaimer. Look, man, I know that 20 years ago, if I was to carry some type of a chest rig like this, I would have considered myself a girl. Let me know down in the comments below if you use a chest harness, which one that you prefer to use, and why or why not. This particular one is from Tang Tactical. They're in Tennessee. They're a United States-based organization, so that's a good thing about them, right? Everything's made right here in the good old U.S. of A. This particular one came at me probably ultimately because of some issues that I had with the Hill People SAR chest rig that I've been running and gunning with for quite some time. And as much as I enjoy that, it does have a feature that I don't like, which is that it only has the buckles on half of it. It doesn't have buckles on all four sides. And so I kind of dinged them on that. But overall, that is a great chest rig. This one meets those things that I didn't like, and I'm going to share with you about all the details and the specs of this thing, as well as maybe something that I don't like about this one as well. But make sure you go check out their gear. Make sure you check out all the things that they have to offer, because they have a ton and slew of accessories to be able to put on this thing. So it's a pretty good little chest rig. It is a little bit smaller in nature. It's made out of 500D laminated Cordura. It has good quality zippers, and everything opens and closes pretty good. And you have the ability to add those accessories, right? So it's extremely modular by design. And so what that means, I think the base price of this is about $160 for the chest rig itself, and then you can add on the things that you need and the things that you want for your loadout. In this case, you see I have a radio tied up to the front. It does have some fastening abilities for the bottom and the sides, but oh wait, there's more. And not to sound like a freaking commercial, but you're gonna see me running this thing out here. I'm coming at you live. It's not really live. Coming at you hot from the newly being established Stoked Command Post, or CP. And so you're going to see me running and gunning with this thing out through the forest behind me. But probably just as much or more important as that is I'm going to be taking this with me out to the Grunt Proof Sear Challenge. And that's going to be coming up here in just a few weeks. I'm going to be flying out and really putting this thing through the ringer. And so this is kind of the precursor, if you will, to show you a new piece of kit that I have. And then on the back end, probably sometime next year, after we've really used this thing through all kinds of environment, again, here in Georgia, as well as out in California, we're going to see just how well this thing stood up to the brush, stood up to the elements, the wind and the rain and all that jazz, and how well it protected everything inside of it, and whether or not I really liked the usability of this thing. But I can tell you that I'm going to like it, because it's pretty stinking awesome. So we'll dive into this thing again. You can see I have my radio here. If you open up there's some ammo. And there's some more ammo. So I don't have this thing loaded down too much, but you can see, that when you do open up these zippers all the way, that it will fly all the way open. Some people are going to like that, and some people are not. Maybe they could have attached some sort of suspension system to it, or just... I like the fact that the zippers go all the way down. It makes it easier to grab your goodies and everything inside of it. But, you don't want things to fall out when you open it. So maybe a little bit of bungee. I could add some bungee, but you know, when you spend your hard-earned money, you kind of want things to work by design. And when you have, you know, in this case, a radio up front, it's going to make it a little bit heavier, and it's literally going to fall open. So you're going to lose anything that's unsecured on the inside. So you have some hook and loop here, but this is a patch. This is the kangaroo pouch. This is one of those accessories. So it's easy enough to pull out, throw into something else, you know, do whatever it is that you want to do. Right now I just have a compass and some wipes and some electrolytes and stuff. I'm pretty not packed hard right now for anything, so we're just getting this thing kind of set up. But it's fully accessible, you know, on the inside. You can open this thing up and get right at everything. So that's kind of the inside. You got a couple pockets here. You got some maps, some engineered tape, some hand warmers, and a folding knife. Let's see how well this thing is to zip closed. Again, you know, you got buckles on all 4 attachment points, right? So again, you can take this whole thing and you can attach it to, you heard something there, and that's another little surprise that this thing has that other chest rigs do not. You can take this, you can attach it to an ATV, you're going to take it and attach it to a backpack, or just hand carry the thing, do whatever you want. I may end up carrying it like this to use as my carry-on or my personal item when I fly over to California. So it's pretty good little for that. You know, I'm kind of losing my words here. You can see we got some attachment points on the front as well, and on the back of this thing, that's just a mesh pouch to help keep it cooler. So there's the actual rig itself, pretty small and modular, right? So on the back of this thing, I've got 2 out of the 3 in here staged up right now. I got to fix myself. I'll do some push-ups later. You got some magazine pouch on the inside, which has a cover that goes over the top for each one. So that's pretty nice and handy to have, because unless you're running out with a kit or you have another H harness on, you may not have any magazines at all on you or any ability. So you can have this set up and ready to go. And even if you are running, you know, some kind of a load-bearing equipment or vest or something of this nature, you're going to have 3 more magazines. Now tell me that you don't want 9 magazines on your person, and I'll tell you that you're a commie. So that's pretty stinking awesome, right? Again, man, this thing just velcros right up. Put a little mesh pouch on the back, and she's ready to rock and roll. It's pretty light. Everything that's inside of this thing, the radio probably weighs more than this does itself, so it is extremely lightweight, which is important, right? Especially if you're operating in a warm weather environment. Maybe it's a little muggy. Maybe you get up into the 90s. Maybe you get up in the hundreds. Having something that doesn't cover your entire person is pretty nice to have, because you're not going to go down as a stinking heat cat and have to get the old silver bullet. Great story about silver bullets, maybe for another time. So it does utilize an H harness. The one thing that I'm going to dig on this one is the shoulder straps itself. When I first put this thing on, I had on a t-shirt, and the edge just didn't quite feel right as it did hit my neck. It's not always going to hit your neck, but when it does hit it, it's just a little sharpy sharp. But you do have attachment points on it running down, so if you want to attach maybe a compass or something to this effect, you can do that as well. All the buckles are stinking good to go, no complaints there. A little quick intro into the full Tang chest rig and harness. And I already told you that, you know, they're an American-based company, and as awesome as that is, that is not the number one thing that sets Full Tang apart. The reason I wanted to throw this out to you and get this out and let you see something that I added in to my gear list and stuff that I have here at the command post. The real biggest thing about this is the value-based efforts that JT, the owner of Full Tang, has. We've reached out, we've talked to each other a few times. Of course, he's watched a few of my vids, but he watched some of my older videos, and one of them that I'm extremely, I don't want to say proud of, but one of the ones that is my favorite is We're All Half Dead, right? Thoughts in Solitude and Steel Creek, which is in my top 10 list if you want to go watch it. And any of my videos that talk about values, virtues, and beliefs, my faith, my family, anything that's geared towards that are ones that that mean the most to me, right? So when I talk about suicide, when I talk about things that matter, right? Those are the ones that I really resonate the most with. And that feeds, right? That is like the projection, that tactical virtue, if you will, is what is the why for everything else, right? If you don't have your faith right, if you don't have your values right, everything else is going to come out wrong. 50 shades of wrong. So JT and I, we chit-chatted, and he shared some of his efforts in his local community of sharing the good news. And just that little piece of connection, that little piece of information, really resonated with me. And I appreciated his efforts there. And the fact that he was very open and upfront about what he's doing in his area, again, up in Tennessee. I think just set him apart, because he's not just doing the job to make money, right? Which is what so many people out there are doing. He's putting together his job so that he can go do what is most important. So I think that's pretty awesome. Team, let me know what you think about this thing down in the comments below, and we will keep this conversation rolling, man. I'm so looking forward to getting the CP 100% set up and established. Probably going to take me a few more weeks. Things will slow down here a little bit, but that's the move, that's the life, that's the transition. But Riggs and I, we're stoked as hell to be here, along with Mrs. Stoker-Matic. Team, I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.